Hey everybody, this is part two of my simple lock project series that I'm making. I have a lot of fun doing these. Hopefully it helps some of you out. If you're a beginner carver, this is probably a perfect project for you if you've never done anything carving wise, because this is straight cuts. You don't need special pointy tip bar, as people call them. Uh, Now we're calling them pointy tip bars because that's something that everybody can relate to. So have fun with this one, and we'll see you on the next one. We'll see how far we get. Thank you.
Every time I'm down here walking around, because I found this. I found this little guy down here. You can see it's obviously been hand tooled, right? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece of stone. That, if somebody modern, like this is an old farm, right? This is an old farm, so we got the old, we got the old junk pile from the old farm. We got the old dirt from the old farm. We got all kinds of stuff here from the old farm. Now I'm finding what looks to be Indian relics or Native American relics. This could be an old settlement. It could be an old camp. What this is a drilling point. It's a hand tool. That's what somebody really smart told me. On the Facebook, I went on a group and people who study this stuff or follow anthropology and stuff. And you see, I'm not being stupid here. There's all kinds of, I don't know if that's natural or if that was formed into something for sharpening stuff or what. This could have been modern. This could have been some kid in Cub Scouts made this for class project back when this was a farm. And how it got over here, I don't know. Maybe the kids, it's all trees and woods and crap. Maybe the kids did it, but it doesn't look like that. This is very, very well done and very skillfully done. And it's really cool to think, just possibly, there was some ancient people running around here, and they saw value in this place too, because I'm imagining this creek down here was here. You guys have seen I've gone down to the creek. We've done some exploration, and there is all kinds of odd gravel here, and there's no saying that this didn't come from some other property. Because this being an old farm, because this being a place where that's had a lot of use. He brings stuff in from other properties all the time. This could have come off of a tree job. This could have been, loaded into one of the trucks by accident off of somebody else's property, because I found it in this road. which is where I drive backhoe. Trucks drive up and down this road all the time. And I'm always looking now. I'm always looking for stuff. But, and I mean, you might see stuff that kind of looks human influence, like sort of rounded chip on the corners. Might have been, might not be. You don't know. And the whole thing is I'm always looking for more evidence, but I don't know. And in my mind, I'm not purely driven to that conclusion because, like I said, this could have come from anywhere, with trucks and equipment, modern day stuff. But you see here, this is wicked old heat, coal, whatever. That's signs of old like fire. Moving on from that, I mean, this thing it's the coolest thing ever, you know. It's really cool to find this here. It's really cool to find that anywhere, you know. Yeah, so I'm researching on it, finding out more about it, finding out more about this area because, see, this was this valley was the highway here. That highway was an old Indian trade route. All the major all the main highways in this area, because this is all Finger Lakes, Mohawk, Iroquois Nation. This area, all the trade routes used to be pathways on what is now a highway. They became road as the settlers moved in from, there were places, there's a place nearby, a place with an Indian name. The first settlers to this area, back when this was government apportioned land, the pathways were what the settlers followed as they were coming here to set up their settlement. They logged the areas with mules and they widened those sections of the trade paths, and eventually they began connecting all those sections. Alright, so I took a cube and I just cut the corners off it. Right, so now you're gonna have basically a square and a square and a square, and then you're gonna have triangles. I'm trying something here. I don't know if it's gonna work. This is just in theory. I didn't find this anywhere as a lesson on the internet. This is my own thing. Basically, I'm gonna cut in here, right? Make my cuts in here, doing the same thing that I did before along these center lines, right? So this center line's going to chase from there to there. This center line is going to go flat from here to here, right? This one's a lot more complicated. But I sat for a while looking at this and thinking about it. And thinking, what if? What if I did this way? Right? So I'm just making my lines. I'm just kind of having fun with the ball, what is spiky ball or star ball thing. I don't know what you call the shapes. It's almost like a hexagon, I guess. I'm kind of out of it on geometry. You see, here I was messing around thinking too much. And I said, no, that's not going to work. So I'm just going to start dividing stuff up. So these lines don't really, well, this line does count. This line doesn't mean anything. Right, so we've got lines all the way around. We've got our center lines that, because see, you got to think linearly. The bar of the saw is straight, so this is all straight cuts. to make in the end what seems like a rounded shape. And I'm finding out that these things look complicated, but they're simpler than they appear. Right, you see where I'm just going. And as I'm doing this, I'm thinking about what cuts I'm going to make and where. I think I'm starting to get it. We'll see what happens. We'll see the end result. Because it's kind of funny throughout the whole process as you're going. Me personally, I'm not super smart about this geometry stuff. So it does kind of mess with me a little bit as I'm going, because I do definitely start to overthink it. But as I'm laying it out, I'm just going from a point to a midpoint and then around to the X. Let's see, lines here. So my cut line is going to be here just like it was on that one. Right down the middle. Right, so we'll set this guy over here. It's so hot outside, that's kind of why I'm in here hiding from the sun right now. I'm in the sun a little bit right here where I'm cutting, but it's pretty blistering hot out. So if I cut that line, then I cut this line.
Then I cut this line. Then I cut that one. Right, so I have all these cut. And now I'm going to just flip it and go to my next set of cuts.
There's a good picture, a good representation of the shape inside of this that I'm making. Pretty sure I got them all the way around. I didn't count, but you see each of the triangles now is divided by 3 evenly, right? It makes these little almost diamond shapes for each of the triangles, right? And each of the squares is divided by 4. And we have basically 2 planes inside of here. So in theory, as I plug in and cut through this, everything should come out kind of even, because everything is sort of even. So I'm just going to follow my lines like I did on the last one. Okay, there I got in a little bit of a hurry and I started following this line, which is not what I wanted to do. I'm removing each of these peaks is all that I'm doing. There's a line here that I'm not going to, I don't want to erase that line, I actually want to cut along that line. That's why you divide the entire triangle by that line. See, and there's that peaky part again. So we'll just continue with erasing. Basically, I'm just erasing all of this build extra. far from perfect. It's not going to be perfect. I kind of like the chainsawed look. I like the roughness. There's a lot of things that you can do with that roughness to make it to your advantage, to make a cool finished piece. It's an art piece, so what I see or what you see in it is the art. It doesn't have to be perfect. You saw I just went right through this and hand drew everything in. I didn't measure anything after I made those initial corner cuts. Even that was kind of blindly going at it, so. It looks like it's definitely coming out really cool. So far in, I got 3 little pyramids, right? 3 little 4-sided pyramids made. So this is a lot of cutting, and I think this thing is going to look really wicked cool when it's done. It is kind of pretty unstable, so I'm cutting slow. And see, I think that's interesting on a shape like this. So I'm going to leave that. I have no qualms about that being there. almost took off on me. So there's technically a straight line from there to there to there. So I think that's done. I don't see any missing parts or pieces. And I really like the sawness of it. Right? Like, I'm going to leave those cuts and gashes in there. I think they're cool looking. I think it makes the piece an art piece, personally. Jury's out on what you call these. This one is, let's see, there's 3 points. There's 3 more. How do you count these? 3 more. So there's 9, 12. So this is a 12, I think a 12-sided. And this, too, there's no specific shape anywhere on this. Like, it's not like that one where it's 2 pyramids locked together. This is something totally different. I'm not seeing any particular shape. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, see, this doesn't even follow. I mean, there you kind of, what's that? 2, 4, 6, 8 octagon. Right, that would be an octagon. That would be an octagon. That would be an octagon. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe it's 4 octagons stuck together on the outside. If you want to break it down that way, it's cool. I mean, I hope it's cool. I think it's cool. And this one kind of sits too. I like how it sits on the points. It has its own resting point. I don't know what you call it. It's a 12-sided star. This is an 8-sided star.
Thanks for watching, guys. Hope that project helped you out there. In the meantime, I got plenty of other project work to do down below, flattening the roads. Alright, well, we'll see you next time. Have a good one.